The day they silenced humanity, the Galactic Council chamber was always a place of grand gestures and bigger egos. But today, the arrogance in the air felt sharp enough to draw blood. Rows of delegates in every shape, color, and biology sat beneath. Banners of starlight, their platforms humming with barely concealed judgment. Jake Morrison, Earth's ambassador, sat at the center of the storm. He wore a navy blue suit with his father's worn tie, a relic of Earth, a reminder to himself that there was still dignity to be found even in the galaxy's least dignified room. The high chair of the council, Bexthera of the Zendari, raised her six-fingered hand, and the room fell silent. Her carapace shimmered in the artificial lights, and her voice, when it came, was a chorus of clicks, translated into a cold monotone. Council will now proceed to the final vote on the regulation of human expansion protocol. Jake's heart hammered in his chest, but his face was carved from stone. He'd argued, pleaded, explained. He'd shown charts and treaties, examples of human kindness and restraint, all to a council that saw only threat and ambition. The Zentari had never trusted humans. Neither had the crystalline Shardache, whose wine-chime voices echoed with mathematical precision. The fish-like Aquarians thought humanity was too quick to fight. The feline coalition saw only potential rivals dot as the votes were cast. Jake barely heard the translation. It was a formality. The decision had been made before he entered the room. Humanity would lose 70% of its territory, be limited to a token fleet, forbidden from aiding or trading with developing species, all for the supposed stability of the galaxy. He looked to his left. Beside him, Admiral Lisa Wright Short, strong, eyes like steel watched with open contempt. On his right, Dr. Helen Price, chief scientist, nervously twisted her hands. They were all that was left of Earth's once proud delegation. The chair called for objections. Jake rose, voice steady. We have respected your laws, shared our knowledge, and asked nothing in return except friendship. We have stopped wars before they started. Our presence in your space has brought prosperity. This is not justice. This is fear masquerading as wisdom. The council ignored him. Some even smiled. Jake's anger faded into something colder. He reached into his pocket, withdrew his translation device, a silver box, worn at the edges. He looked at it, remembering his first meeting here, the hope he'd felt then. Gently, he placed it on the stone table. The clink was soft, final, turned, locking eyes with the council. His words would mean nothing now. Without the translator, they'd just be noise. That was fitting, he thought. For months, his words hadn't meant a thing. As he walked toward the massive doors. Admiral Wright followed. Dr. Price, too, leaving her notes behind. Not a single human looked back. In silence, they left the chamber, roots echoing in a place. Where they'd once been welcome, Doc Counselor Vexthera watched them go, clicking her mandibles in satisfaction. One less problem to manage, she said. The rest of the council nodded. None of them understood what had just happened. Not yet. Outside, Jake thumbed his personal communicator and spoke in a voice that trembled with a power he'd held in. Reserved for years. Protocol Omega. Effective immediately. All colonies, all stations, were going home. Across the galaxy, millions of human lives paused. Every leader, every commander, every family who'd once dreamed of stars, now listened in silence. There were no questions. Everyone knew what Protocol Omega meant. On that day, humanity went dark. The Great Evacuation, the order traveled faster. Then light, riding the hidden comes in secured networks only humans trusted. There was no panic, no riots. Just movement, a tide flowing away from the galactic heart, outward to the rim and then quietly homeward. On New Montana, Captain Lisa Wright watched as the colony's final transport lifted into the morning sky. 50,000 people, farmers and miners and teachers, had packed their bags and boarded ships. Greenhouses still shimmered with crops. City lights burned steady, and the automated trams ran their routes with mechanical devotion. Lisa stood in the empty town square, reading the farewell etched into a stone pillar. For those who come after, may these walls shelter you as they did us. Aliens came to survey the abandoned settlements, Aquarians, Quillins, Shardake. They found everything in order. Food in warehouses, power running, air clean and sweet. But not a single human in sight. In the control centers, a message played on repeat. Evacuation complete. Colony infrastructure transferred to council authority. Thank you for letting us call this place home. On trade hubs, merchant guilds found their human partners gone. The great markets were silent, their AI trading systems locked with a single line. As requested, all human economic activity has ceased. On research stations, alien scientists wandered empty labs, machines, humming, experiments mid-process. The quantum computers, too complex for anyone else to repair, were left on, but locked with passwords no one else could guess dot at every station. In every city, the last thing left was a handwritten note. We left as we came with hope. If you need us, look to the stars. For a while, some council members felt relief. The humans were gone, their influence receding like a tide. The galaxy would be safe again, free from their disruptive curiosity and endless ambition. But as the days passed, the silence grew, and with it a shadow of doubt. The echoes of absence, the first cracks appeared within weeks. On the trade. Routes, delays multiplied. The humans' intricate logistics AI, once the nervous system of galactic commerce, had powered down with their departure. Shipments vanished into bottlenecks and bureaucratic confusion. Alien traders cursed it at their own slow, outdated software dot in the pirate nebula. Rumors spread of missing convoys, entire merchant fleets vanishing without a trace. The council dispatched patrols, but none had the experience or daring of the old human spacers. Pirates who'd once feared the sight of a Terran warship now struck with impunity. On former human worlds, things began to break down. The water. On Galatia 3, purified for generations by Earth tech, turned sour. The local scientists tried to fix it, but the files were too dense, the systems too delicate. The crops withered elsewhere, energy grids failed, and the repairs required human know-how no alien technician could match. In desperation, some tried to hack the old maintenance AIs, but every system was locked. Transfer of infrastructure. Complete, the message blinked back. No further action required. Council leaders met in emergency sessions. The Zephyrian ambassador, whose species had relied on human medicine to combat a genetic disorder, begged for assistance. Cures were within reach. He pleaded with Dr. Helen Price, now back on Earth. We only need a little more time. I'm sorry, Helen replied via distant holla. The council asked us to leave. We can't interfere. The council tried to organize a response. Experts were flown in, scientists and engineers brought together. But every effort fell short. What humans had done by instinct, others could not replicate. There were rumors of human activity in deep space. Alien surveyors at the edge of map systems detected energy spikes, sensor arrays more advanced than anything on Council worlds. The Council sent envoys to ask, but Earth's response was polite, measured, and empty. We wish you peace. We are focused on our own affairs. Some alien leaders grew uneasy. They remembered the way humans had always seemed to be 3 steps ahead, curious and unpredictable. Now, that curiosity was turned inward, and the rest of the galaxy was left in the dark. The consequences and regrets by month 4. The consequences were inescapable. On agricultural worlds, food shortages began to bite. Quilling colonies once lush with human hydroponics now faced hunger as unfamiliar systems broke down. The council offered aid, but their supplies were too little, too late. Pirate activity exploded. The pirate nebula became a lawless zone. Trade collapsed, and entire sectors grew dangerous to cross. When council fleets tried to intervene, they found themselves outmaneuvered. Alien ships lacked the speed, sensors, and stubborn aggression of human patrols. Losses mounted. A border war broke out between the Zahirian Confederacy and the metallic synthesis over mining rights. In years past, human mediators like Carl Johnson would have calmed tempers, found common ground, and brokered a lasting peace. But Carl was gone. along with every other Terran diplomat. The Council tried their own solutions threats. Logic, pleased to reason, but each failed in turn. The Zahirians demanded honor. The synthesis demanded resources. The war spread. 3. Star systems burning in its wake. Merchants, miners, and researchers complained to the Council. Trade guilds demanded compensation. Outposts pleaded for help with failing tech. Bring back the humans, some whispered in back rooms. We need them, but Earth did not return. The human government's message was simple. We respect the Council's wishes. We will not interfere. We trust you will find your own solutions. Within Council chambers, the mood soured. Even those who had called for humanity's departure began to doubt their wisdom. Some quietly suggested reopening negotiations, inviting the humans back. But the silence from Earth was unbroken dot in the great absence. The galaxy began to see what it had truly lost. The galaxy humbled 6 months after. Humanity's silent exodus, the first real threat, appeared on the galactic horizon. At the edge of known space, sensors picked up a fleet unlike any before. The invaders did not answer hails, did not pause, did not negotiate. Their ships adapted to every weapon, every defense. Worlds fell quickly. Old enemies tried to unite, but without human coordination, their efforts floundered. The Council sent desperate messages to Earth, pleas for help, promises of forgiveness, even offers to return everything they had taken. Earth's reply was brief. We hope you find your own strength. Humanity is home. Farewell. The Council's military scrambled. They tried old tactics and new strategies, but nothing worked. As systems fell, Council members realized that what they had called interference had always been something else: leadership, flexibility, innovation. In a silent Council chamber, the delegates sat in shame. The loss was not just one of power or technology. It was the loss of something uniquely human, the will to improvise, to build bridges, to hope in the face of disaster. On a distant, hidden world, unreachable by Council sensors, humanity thrived. Their scientists, engineers, and dreamers built new wonders, undisturbed and united as never before. Their absence became a legend. The story of the day humanity walked away would be told for generations, a warning, and a lesson for all who believed that strength was found in exclusion and pride. And somewhere, in the quiet between stars, the echo of human footsteps lingered. The galaxy would never forget the price of driving humanity away. Asterisk.